Intellectual resilience, scholars, media, and the global struggle for liberation. Introduction. In the crucible of oppressive regimes and the arduous journey towards liberation, the intellectual community emerges as a beacon of hope and catalyst for change. Through extensive research and a commitment to truth, intellectual resilience delves into the collective endeavors of scholars, professors, researchers, media outlets, newspapers, digital platforms, and social media across borders. This book not only encapsulates the critical period of armed resistance against dictatorial governments, but also underscores its paramount importance for transformative change and the shaping of a better future for generations to come. Amidst the tumultuous landscapes of oppression, this book serves as a testament to the intellectual resilience that transcends geographic boundaries. By weaving together the stories of those who tirelessly sought knowledge, challenged authoritarian ideologies, and amplified the voices of the oppressed, intellectual resilience becomes a compendium of research that goes beyond mere documentation. It stands as a critical resource for understanding the profound impact of intellectual contributions during times of armed resistance. Importantly, this book is not a static reflection, but a dynamic call to action. Through meticulously conducted research, it elucidates how the intellectual community, with its unwavering commitment to truth and justice, became a driving force for change. It explores the transformative role of intellectuals in shaping narratives, influencing global perceptions, and fostering a collective sense of resilience that paves the way for a brighter tomorrow. As we navigate through the pages of intellectual resilience, it becomes evident that this is more than a historical account. It is a guide for the future. By comprehensively examining the intellectual response to oppression, the book becomes an indispensable resource for scholars, activists, and future generations. It illuminates the path toward a world where intellectual resilience stands as a formidable force against tyranny, inspiring individuals to confront injustice with knowledge, courage, and an unwavering commitment to a liberated future. In a world grappling with the shadows of autocracy, intellectual resilience becomes not only a chronicle of the past, but a manifesto for change. It is a testament to the enduring power of ideas, research, and intellectual fortitude in the face of adversity. This book invites readers to embark on a journey through the annals of intellectual resilience, reminding us that even in the darkest moments, the pursuit of knowledge and truth remains an unyielding beacon of hope for a better, liberated world. Chapter 1. The Academy's Call to Action. In the unfolding chronicles of resistance against oppressive regimes, the academic community emerges as a beacon of critical thought, resilience, and advocacy. The Academy's Call to Action embarks on an exploration of the pivotal role undertaken by scholars and professors within the country. Despite the weight of academic pressures, these individuals embarked on a courageous journey of enlightenment and advocacy, transforming the academic landscape into a bastion of critical thought. This chapter delves into the compelling narrative of how the academic community, driven by a profound sense of responsibility, became instrumental in fostering awareness and mobilizing intellectual resources for the resistance. Point 1. The nexus of knowledge and activism, bridging the ivory tower with the streets. Within the venerable walls of academia, a remarkable synergy unfolded, an intricate dance between knowledge and activism. This section intricately examines how scholars and professors, fueled by an unwavering sense of duty, harnessed the transformative power of their intellectual pursuits. Here, academic knowledge transcended the confines of lecture halls, emerging as a potent catalyst for change, enlightenment, and advocacy in the face of oppressive regimes. In simpler terms, imagine academia as a place not only of learning but also of action, a space where the profound knowledge generated by scholars and professors spills into the streets, resonating with the urgent need for change. This section unveils the behind-the-scenes journey of professionals who, armed with their expertise, stepped beyond the traditional role of educators, actively engaging with the challenges of society. 1. Consider this nexus as a bridge connecting the ivory tower of academia with the pulse of the streets. 2. It's a symbiotic relationship where the insights gained within university walls are not confined to scholarly discussions, but are actively wielded as tools for empowerment and transformation. In this way, the academic community becomes not just a repository of knowledge, but a dynamic force shaping the narrative of resistance. So as we delve into the heart of the Academy's call to action, envision scholars and professors not merely as individuals imparting wisdom within classrooms, but as dynamic agents of change, actively contributing to the greater cause of enlightenment and advocacy. This nexus of knowledge and activism becomes a compelling testament to the pivotal role played by academics in steering the course of resistance against oppressive regimes. 1.2 Navigating academic pressures. The cost of dissent. In the intricate realm of academia, the choice to embrace advocacy often exacted a toll. This segment of the chapter delves into the nuanced academic pressures confronting scholars who dared to dissent. Beyond the scholarly debates, it uncovers the real-world challenges faced by these intellectuals, unraveling the threads of threats such as censorship and the looming risks of professional repercussions. 1. In essence, it unveils the profound challenges encountered by academics who, in choosing to dissent, found themselves navigating a complex landscape of sacrifices in the pursuit of a larger transformative cause. 2. Unlocking the layers of academic pressures, a closer look. 3. To truly understand the courage displayed by these scholars, let's peel back the layers of academic pressures. Imagine academia as a tightly woven tapestry where dissent, akin to a bold stroke of color, disrupts the established order. This disruption, however, is not without consequences. Threat of censorship. Within the academic realm, where the exchange of ideas should ideally be boundless, the threat of censorship casts a looming shadow. This part of the exploration unveils the challenges faced by scholars as they grappled with the potential suppression of their dissenting voices. Consider it as a journey through the corridors of intellectual expression, where the decision to speak out carried the weight of potential silencing. Risks of professional repercussions. Beyond the theoretical realm, dissent often ventured into the professional sphere. Here, the narrative unfolds the risks faced by academics who chose to challenge the status quo. 1. Picture it as a tightrope walk where the pursuit of truth and advocacy is balanced precariously against potential consequences to one's professional standing, a delicate dance between conviction and the fear of reprisal. 2. Sacrifices made in pursuit of a greater cause, a personal perspective. 3. As we navigate through this part of the chapter, consider the sacrifices made by these intellectuals as a personal journey. Imagine it as a series of choices where individuals driven by conviction weighed the potential costs against the greater cause they sought to champion. These sacrifices become not just abstract concepts, but tangible decisions made by real people in real situations, a testament to the profound commitment required to dissent within the academic community. In essence, this segment illuminates the intricate dance between academic pressures and the resolute spirit of those who chose to dissent. By unraveling the layers and providing a personal perspective, it ensures that readers, regardless of their familiarity with academia, can grasp the profound challenges faced by scholars navigating the complex terrain of dissent within the pursuit of a transformative cause. 3. Intellectual bastions, spaces of critical thought. In the midst of oppression's tumultuous waves, certain academic institutions emerged as sanctuaries for critical thought and dissent. This segment of the chapter takes a deeper dive into the remarkable role played by specific universities and academic hubs, transforming them into intellectual bastions. These places not only provided safe havens for scholars, but also became dynamic spaces for open dialogue, idea exchange, and strategic planning for their resistance. 2. This exploration carefully unravels the nuanced contributions of these institutions in shaping the discourse of dissent. 3. Unveiling the significance of intellectual bastions, a closer look. To truly grasp the significance of these intellectual bastions, let's unveil the layers of their importance. Imagine these institutions as vibrant ecosystems within the academic landscape where the seeds of critical thought and dissent found fertile ground. Safe havens for scholars. Consider these intellectual bastions as safe havens akin to shelters amidst a storm. Here, scholars found refuge, a space where their ideas could flourish without fear of suppression. It's a narrative that illustrates how certain academic institutions became more than just buildings. They became protective spaces where intellectual freedom was cherished. Dynamic spaces for open dialogue. Envision these intellectual bastions as dynamic arenas where open dialogue thrived. Unlike the stifling atmosphere that oppression often casts, these institutions became stages for scholars to engage in free-flowing conversations. 1. Picture it as a vibrant marketplace of ideas where dissent wasn't only allowed but actively encouraged. 2. Ideas exchange and strategic planning. Within these intellectual bastions, ideas weren't merely exchanged. They were currency for change. 3. This part of the exploration delves into how these institutions became epicenters for strategic planning. Imagine it as a war room for intellects, a space where scholars collaborated, strategized, and orchestrated their efforts for the larger cause of resistance, shaping the discourse of dissent, a transformative influence. As we navigate through this section, consider the profound influence these intellectual bastions had on shaping the discourse of dissent. Visualize them as shaping not just individual minds, but the collective narrative of resistance. Here, the narrative becomes a testament to how certain academic institutions became pillars of strength, standing against the tide of oppression and actively contributing to the intellectual legacy of dissent. In essence, this exploration ensures that readers, irrespective of their familiarity with academic intricacies, can appreciate the transformative influence of these intellectual bastions. By unraveling their significance and contributions in simple terms, it invites everyone to understand the pivotal role played by certain academic institutions in fostering critical thought and dissent amid challenging times. 1.4 Mobilizing knowledge for resistance awareness campaigns. 2. In the tapestry of resistance, the academic community emerged as a powerful force, steering awareness campaigns that aimed to mobilize public sentiment. 3. This section of the chapter delves into the intricate strategies crafted by scholars and professors to extend the reach of knowledge beyond academic realms. It unveils how lectures, publications, and public forums metamorphosed into dynamic platforms, enlightening the broader populace and catalyzing support for the resistance. Unpacking the strategies of awareness campaigns, a closer look. To truly grasp the impact of these awareness campaigns, let's delve into the strategies employed by scholars and professors. Imagine them as architects designing blueprints for change. Lectures as illuminating beacons. Consider lectures as beacons of illumination cutting through the shadows of ignorance. Here, scholars strategically transformed academic discourses into accessible narratives. It's a narrative that paints lectures not just as classroom rituals, but as powerful tools for disseminating knowledge to the wider public, fostering understanding, and igniting a sense of urgency for change. Publications as catalysts for change. Envision publications as catalysts akin to seeds planted in fertile minds. This segment explores how scholars strategically utilized publications, turning academic insights into digestible forms for public consumption. Think of it as a dissemination of knowledge beyond the ivory tower, where research findings, analyses, and critiques became accessible to a broader audience hungry for information. Public forums as arenas of engagement. Within this exploration, picture public forums as vibrant arenas where ideas clashed, merged, and evolved. Here, scholars stepped out of traditional academic spaces, engaging directly with the broader populace. It's a narrative that unveils how these forums became spaces not just for discourse, but for active engagement. Bridges connecting the academic community with the heartbeat of society. Galvanizing support for the resistance, a transformative impact. As we navigate through this section, consider the transformative impact of these awareness campaigns on galvanizing support for the resistance. Visualize them as waves of knowledge, rippling through society and stirring a collective consciousness. Here, the narrative becomes a testament to how scholars and professors, through strategic dissemination of knowledge, became catalysts for change beyond the confines of academia. In essence, this exploration ensures that readers, regardless of their familiarity with academic jargon, can appreciate the dynamic strategies employed by scholars to mobilize knowledge for resistance. By unraveling these strategies in simple terms, it invites everyone to understand and recognize the profound impact of the academic community in actively shaping public sentiment and support for the resistance. And 5. The power of intellectual networks, coalition building. In the intricate world of academia, intellectual networks became the bedrock for forging alliances and building robust coalitions in the fight against oppressive regimes. This section of the chapter takes a deeper dive into how scholars and professors strategically utilize their connections to weave a unified front against tyranny. It unveils the collaborative efforts that transcended disciplinary boundaries and institutional affiliations, showcasing the profound impact of these intellectual networks. Unraveling the significance of intellectual networks, a closer look. To truly comprehend the significance of intellectual networks, envision them as connective tissues linking minds across the academic landscape. Imagine them as the bridges that unite scholars and professors in a common cause. Strategic alliances through connections. Consider these intellectual networks as pathways for strategic alliances. This segment explores how scholars and professors, by leveraging their connections, built bridges between disciplines and institutions. Picture it as a web of collaborations where the strength of the whole surpassed the sum of individual parts, a united force against oppression. Unified fronts beyond disciplinary boundaries. Envision these networks as catalysts for breaking down disciplinary barriers. Here, the narrative delves into how scholars stepped beyond the confines of their academic silos, forging alliances that transcended traditional boundaries. It's a narrative that illustrates how intellectual networks became conduits for diverse perspectives, enriching the resistance with a myriad of insights. Collaborative efforts defying institutional affiliations. Within this exploration, think of intellectual networks as spaces where institutional affiliations became secondary. This section examines how scholars and professors, bound by a shared commitment to the cause, collaborated irrespective of institutional backgrounds. It's a narrative that showcases the transformative power of collective effort, demonstrating that the fight against oppression united minds across diverse academic homes. The impact of collaborative efforts, a transformative force. As we navigate through this section, consider the transformative force unleashed by these intellectual networks in building coalitions. Visualize them as hubs of innovation where ideas flowed freely and collaborative endeavors flourished. Here, the narrative becomes a testament to how scholars, united through intellectual networks, became a formidable force, unleashing a wave of change that extended far beyond individual endeavors. In essence, this exploration ensures that readers, regardless of their familiarity with academic intricacies, can appreciate the dynamic significance of intellectual networks. By unraveling their impact in simple terms, it invites everyone to understand and recognize the profound role played by these networks in creating a united front against oppressive regimes within the academic community. Civics facing repression, scholars on the front lines. In the unfolding narrative of advocacy, scholars found themselves thrust onto the front lines of resistance, where their efforts, though gaining momentum, were met with severe repression and persecution. This integral section of the chapter takes a closer look at the poignant stories of academics who emerged as symbols of resilience. It unravels the narratives of these scholars who, in their unwavering commitment to the cause, endured harassment, imprisonment, and exile, unveiling the realities of facing repression. A closer look. To truly understand the realities faced by scholars on the front lines, let's peel back the layers of their experiences. Imagine it as a vivid exploration into the lives of individuals committed to change. Harassment as a form of opposition. Consider harassment as a harsh echo of dissent. This segment delves into how scholars, as they advanced their advocacy efforts, encountered various forms of harassment. Picture it as a challenging terrain where their commitment to change was met with opposition, manifesting as personal attacks, intimidation, and attempts to stifle their voices. Imprisonment as a test of resilience. Envision imprisonment as a crucible of resilience. This exploration delves into the stories of academics who, in their pursuit of a just cause, found themselves behind bars. It's a narrative that unfolds the challenges faced within prison walls and the enduring spirit of resilience that allowed these scholars to withstand the pressures of confinement. Exile as a sacrifice for conviction. Within this narrative, exile becomes a sacrifice made in the name of conviction. The section explores the stories of scholars forced to leave their homelands, driven away by oppressive regimes. Imagine it as a journey into the unknown, where academics, despite the hardships of exile, remained committed to their cause, carrying their advocacy to new shores. Narratives of resilience, a profound commitment to the cause. As we navigate through this section, consider the profound commitment to the cause displayed by scholars facing repression. Visualize them as beacons of resilience, standing firm against the tide of opposition. Here, the narrative becomes a testament to how these academics, despite the hardships, emerged as symbols of unwavering dedication to the pursuit of justice and change. In essence, this exploration ensures that readers, regardless of their familiarity with the intricacies of advocacy, can appreciate the human side of the scholars on the front lines. By unraveling their experiences in simple terms, it invites everyone to understand and recognize the personal sacrifices made by these individuals as they faced repression in their steadfast commitment to a cause greater than themselves. 7. Legacy of Enlightenment, Shaping the Future.